having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Today on Reggae Hour, we're honored to reason with a true reggae revolutionary. A man whose voice, vision, and vibration have stretched across generations and oceans. He is the founding voice of the legendary Mystic Revealers, a band birthed in Bull Bay, Jamaica in the late 70s and rooted in Rastafari, resistance, and righteous sound. From anthems like Down Apartheid to performing alongside the Wailers, Rita Marley, Freddie McGregor, and more, this man helped keep the fire of live roots reggae burning even when dancehall ruled the airwaves. But his talents stretch far beyond the stage. He's also a surfing pioneer, a cultural activist, an actor, and the visionary behind Jamaica's first international surf competition, Macca Pro. In 2020, after surviving a devastating fire and rebuilding with his children in a home studio known as Pond de Veranda, he delivered a powerful album, Jah Jah People, proving that roots music still grows strong in the soil of experience and love. This man is more than an artist. He's a cultural torchbearer. Reggae Hour family, help me welcome the Lion of Bull Bay, the teacher, the singer, the mystic himself, Billy Mystic of the Mystic Revealers.
Welcome, listeners, to another enlightening edition of the Reggae Hour Podcast, where we delve deep into the rhythms and messages that define reggae music today. Today, we have the distinct honor of introducing a true pioneer in the roots reggae scene, a man whose leadership and vision have helped shape the soundscape of reggae for over 4 decades. Billy Mystic, the frontman of the legendary Jamaican band Mystic Revealers, joins us today to share insights from his extraordinary musical journey. Since their formation in 1977, Mystic Revealers has been at the forefront of roots reggae, earning acclaim for their authentic sounds that resonates with themes of love, peace, and justice. Known for powerful tracks such as Justice for the Poor and Righteous, their music has traveled far and wide, impacting both grassroots communities and international fans alike. Billy Mystic's leadership and charismatic presence have been pivotal in steering the band through the vibrant worlds of reggae. As a living testament to the enduring spirit of reggae music, Billy continues to inspire with his contributions not only as a musician, but as a cultural advocate for social change. Get ready to embark on a conversation that spans decades of reggae history as we explore Billy Mystic's reflections on Mystic Revealers' legacy, their influence on upcoming generations, and his personal journey within the heart of reggae music. We'd like to personally welcome you to Reggae Hour, Billy Mystic. How's your day going?
Dear man, give thanks and praise, Jah has blessed us that we would live to see this moment, and share it with all your listeners and yourself, and hopefully we will touch the heart and mind and soul of people who will go out into the world and make it a better place, So give thanks for the opportunity on your platform, my brother.
Yes, thank you for joining us on our platform. It's artists like you that gives us an actual foundation to be able to build upon. So thank you so much. Your music has been an inspiration for us all.
Thank you.
All right, with your roots in Bull Bay go back to the late 70s. What did the early energy of Mystic Revealers feel like back then? And how has your creative process evolved from Winter to Jah Jah People?
Well, Bull Bay, where we grew up, it's about 8 miles east of the center of Kingston. So we are not really, we didn't really come up in the so-called reggae seedbed, which you would call like the Trenchtown, Waterhouse, and those places, where traditionally you hear about the home of reggae music. We were in Bull Bay, but where we grew up, it was like sound system country, lots of sound systems would come through there all the while, very famous. A lot of dancehall in the community where we grew up, and we get exposed to a lot of the music at that level. So that's really where we get introduced to the real reggae music, because most of the real reggae music that was produced at that time was produced in inferior recording situation and was not really heard on the radio. So if you weren't close by where there was a sound system playing the latest produced street music, you wouldn't really have your finger on the pulse of what Jamaican music was saying and doing at the time. So luckily we were in an era where the sound system played every week, a different sound system, all of the noteworthy sound systems played there, and we were exposed to that music, you know. So we wanted to sing along and play along. A couple of us had a couple guitars, and we started realizing we could create our own music and write our own songs, and that's where it began, you know. And going through like auditions to see where we could get some recognition and how could we break into the music industry, being the fact that we were not in the hometown of the reggae music at the time. We were outside of the city. How could we get in? We would make treks into town to try and audition for different producers. But eventually what it came down to was us realizing that you have to believe in yourself and do it for yourself, because expecting people to do you a favor to get you into the music industries is not really likely to happen, you know. And if people want to help you in the music industry, a lot of the time it could be to your detriment also, because there's a lot of unscrupulous people fishing around in the music industry in those days. So, you know, luckily for us, we took it upon ourselves to develop the group and trot out on our own path, doing our own recording, our own productions, you know. And as a result of stepping out on our own, we attracted attention and eventually secured a good manager, got a recording deal, and the next thing you know, we were off and running, touring the world. So it was a long journey, but it was strictly because due to a great belief in ourselves, you know, that we were able to do it. It wasn't until we were quite a way along our career, maybe 5, 10 years into our career from day one, that we were actually able to start meeting major players in the reggae industry. And we made contact with Jimmy Cliff. And Jimmy Cliff was someone who supported our growth in the early years and was one of our mentors, one who put out one of our songs for us, Down Apartheid, and sort of gave us a certain amount of legitimacy. And from there, the group grew, more recordings until we were signed by different record labels, international record labels, and I guess the rest of it is history, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely history. You made history in the making right there. Now, I heard you say you talked more about believing in yourself. Now, when you started in the 70s, that wasn't it wasn't as easy to get into the industry as it is now. Now you could just flip open the phone and just start recording and then upload to YouTube. With that being said, how much more courage or how much more work did y'all have to do back there in the 70s that people do not recognize in this day and age?
Well, making a record wasn't something you could do in your bedroom at home, obviously. You had to be a recording studio. You had to be able to record the music on a 24-track tape or 2-inch magnetic tape. Those were quite expensive. Not everybody had a machine that could spin and record a 2-inch tape. So those locations were very rare. There were probably only 2 or 3 locations on the island where you could get that high quality of recording capacity ability. You would have to book those recording studios, and it would then after you record the song, it would have to be mixed. It would be mixed down onto a 1/4-inch tape, 1/4-inch magnetic tape, which would then have to go to the stamper factory where they they cut the acetate and then use an electronic bath with electrolyte and electrolysis create a negative for the record, which was then taken to the pressing plant with the labels that you designed and printed to be inserted into the record. And you go to the pressing plant and you would take your stamper with you and hand it in, and you would order your records without 50, 25, 100, 1,000, 15,000, depending on how much you were capable of pressing at the time to get into circulation. You'd have to press those and then you take them out and distribute them around the island and around the world to the reggae market, different recording studios. So it was quite a big undertaking, you know. So it was brave of us as youngsters to say, okay, if no one wants to help us, we're going to do it ourselves. And we ended up taking it on and doing it ourselves. And when people realized how serious we were and got a chance to hear our music and it started playing.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
People realize that, wow, there's really something to this group, you know. And that's how we sort of broke into the more mainstream of the Jamaican music industry. And I would say that that probably happened about, I'd say maybe 1989, 1990. By that time, we were basically inducted into Jamaica's music fraternity.
That's beautiful right there. See, that's just the work that y'all had to put behind the music that y'all created in order to be able to get it to be distributed across Jamaica, let alone worldwide. But also the scenery, the atmosphere, the social environment at that time was very turbulent. I mean, when you made Mash Down Apartheid, that was a bold statement at a time where it was so much controversy going on.
Rastafari rule and reign in creation. Selassie and I Jah children dismantle apartheid. Yo. Oh yeah. England fire. I don't believe in apartheid or in minority rule. I think anyone who does must be some kind of fool, 'cause we know it's wrong. And I know that they won't last long. No, not quite way around. We can unite and mash them down to the ground. To be black in South Africa land makes you less than a man. So come on, let's make a stand just as soon as we can.
What gave you the courage to make that record, and what responsibility do you feel reggae still holds in this global liberation struggles today?
Well, when we were growing up, you know, we were teenagers in the 70s, and we heard about apartheid and the wicked system that it was. But really and truly, we didn't realize that apartheid was a current event. I really believe that apartheid was something like slavery that was abolished in the 1800s. And when you're reading about apartheid, you would believe that it's just a historic occurrence that you're reading up about things that happened in the past. And then when we realized that, no, this is actually happening in our time, you know, there was a big outcry about the apartheid system then in the early 80s. Late 70s, early 80s, there was a lot of attention on apartheid. And we got to realize that, no, this is something that actually happening in our time. So we felt so strongly about it that we put pen to paper and fingers to instruments and voices to lyrics. And we actually made a song in protest of the apartheid system. At that time, Jimmy Cliff was a loud protagonist for the anti-apartheid movement. And we know where Jimmy Cliff resided, and we went to visit him and told him that, we would love to do a song, an anti-apartheid song, and if he would produce it for us. So he said that we should make a demo of it and give it to him. So he opened up his recording studio. He had a small rehearsal recording studio, 1-inch 16-track machine. And we went in and we recorded a demo of the song. And when Jimmy Cliff came back off of tour and we presented him with the tape, he immediately asked Newton Murray to go and cut the stamper for it and press the labels for it. And he put it out immediately. He said it didn't need to be reproduced. The demo was excellent. And he was the one who made contact with the African National Congress and was able to get the record to them. And we received great accolades from them. We received a wonderful letter from them thanking us for our effort and supporting the African National Congress and the fight against apartheid. And we ended up, Jimmy Cliff ended up making arrangements so that a percentage of the returns from the sales of the record.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Riley Herbst from 2311 Racing here, and you know what grinds my gears? Waiting for coffee. But instead of counting frappes and lattes, I fire up Chumba Casino. No apps, no fuss, just fun social casino games to pass the time. By the time my coffee's ready,
order for Riley.
I've already taken a few victory laps. Next time you're stuck waiting, make it entertaining. Play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
We're directed to access of the ANC, which was also greatly appreciated and mentioned in the correspondence with us. So we were very proud about that at that time, So it was a very turbulent time. And I mean, politics was rife, the 80s, Bob Marley died, there was lots of political strife and turmoil, so it was a time when there was a lot to sing and talk about. So Revealers did just that, and lifted our voices, opened our mouths and allowed the Lord to fill our mouth with words. And we did our best to deliver his message, and that's basically what it was about, and we didn't know where it was going. We didn't have any ulterior motives. We just wanted to sing what we believed and what we think could make a difference in the world once it was out there, and that was the motivation the whole time.
Yes, and y'all stuck to it. Like when it comes to roots reggae music, your name comes up as much as Bob Marley's, as much as Peter Tosh, as much as Jimmy Cliff, as much as the greats in this, because you're all one of the greats, So when you seen that Jamaican music was leaning towards the dancehall, the digital dancehall, you double down on live roots music. And is that social justice what inspired you to swim against the current? And what did that cost or reward you as artists?
Well, I think that reggae music was experiencing a crisis. The fact that Bob Marley was in his heyday and just taking reggae music to the heights that its potential demonstrated, and losing Bob Marley right in the midst of that great battle, and there was no obvious heir to the throne, and there was a big rush in the Jamaican music fraternity as who is going to hold the forefront, who can fill the shoes of Bob Marley, and likely no one was found worthy to be put forward. The music industry in Jamaica there wasn't a clear heir to the throne. So the dancehall genre was becoming very popular at the time, but the international marketplace is usually a few years behind the pulse. Their, their finger is not on the pulse of Jamaican music. You know, they're a few years behind. So what's happening in Jamaica doesn't really make it to the international stage until probably 2 or 3 years later. So when Bob Marley was taken out in mid-battle, and they had to find somebody immediately to put in that space, it was what was happening on the street and what looked likely to be the next big thing, which was dancehall and King Yellow Man and all that type of genre. So immediately that was sort of put up. It was King Yellow Man now, and it was like, yeah, we're not doing reggae anymore. We're doing dancehall. This is a new thing, and the world need to get used to it, you know. But that was never the way we viewed it. That was never our vision of what message music should be, because the dancehall music at the time wasn't very progressive and wasn't very, very uplifting. The message of it was pretty materialistic and pretty much very carnal at the time. You know, it was about girl and bad man and gun and money and them type of thing there. So it was, we couldn't swim with that current. We would have to go against a current like that, you know. We could not be a part of that. That was never what our inspiration was. And we were not panicked by the loss of Bob Marley, because we know that where one will fall, many more will rise, you know, and we were ready to step up and continue doing the music that we believed in, delivering the message that we felt was necessary and relevant to the time we were in. And we kept on doing it, and the people appreciated it all the way up until the end of the 90s.
Oh yeah. And even till this day, I mean, roots reggae it never went away. It probably lost a little bit of popularity, but the popularity is coming back with people being like they see the difference between dancehall and reggae. Even the ones who was introduced to reggae through dancehall. I know a lot of my fans. They talk about they talk about chronics and people who make kind of dancehall like music. But if you listen to the core of the message is roots, and the music can be played with a band. Like, and you've toured the world and shared stages with legends. I mean, like Freddie McGregor and Ziggy Marley. Like you like how would you have seen that how would that have felt to be on the stage with them and knowing that the king of reggae hasn't been fulfilled yet and you all are just bringing your all? How was that experience?
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience, you know. But as we say, we were just delivering our message. We weren't thinking of who is going to be heir to the throne. We were just doing our music. We accepted the fact that we were who we were, and our message was what our message was. And we wanted our message to be clear and concise. And we wanted to be known as the mystic revealers in our own value, and not as mystic revealers, a potential applicant for the position of heir to the throne. You know, we weren't really heading in that direction. We were just coming up with new music, wanted to produce the next album, and moving forward, wanted to get on tour, wanted to get in front of international audience to present our message. And that was really what it was. The objective was to get our message to the ears of the people who needed to hear it, you know. So that's what it was really for us, you know. We weren't really thinking in terms of a competition for the number one seat in the reggae fraternity, you know. We were just doing our little part, you know.
Yeah, keeping it pure. That's how you definitely keep it pure. Because whenever people start looking for power and looking for success and money and fame, that contaminates the message, because now it's like you're putting anything together to try to make sure that it goes viral or something of that nature. Now, but when you drop with Upon Veranda Studio and the musical contributions of your children, what kind of sound or message is being birthed for the next generation of mystic revealers?
Well, it's the same. The message is the same, you know. Obviously, beats will change. Music gets faster or slower. If it's been played slow for a long time, then something fast will sound refreshing, and vice versa, you know. So, and the beats change, you know. reggae is different than mento, which is different than rocksteady, which is different than dancehall, which is different than Afrobeat, which is different than reggaeton, you know. But they all have certain aspects of similarity. So what we recognize as the most important thing is the message. What is it the music is saying? You know, it's not like if you say this music over a R&B beat, it's not good. But it's good when you put the same message over a reggae, roots reggae beat. I don't believe in that. You know, I believe whatever is the vehicle to get it to the message to the people. So if the people love rap music, I would love some rock band to do over, re-record Mystic Revealer's message in hard rock or acid rock or whatever is the latest aspect of rock, and take our message and apply it to their genre of music so that their audience could receive the message that we are sending. We love that. I would love that. I'm not just saying reggae is the only way. I'm just saying reggae is our only way. That's Mystic Revealer's only way. We are a reggae band, you know. So respect us as a reggae band doing the works of the Most High, Jah, Rastafari, Majesty, you know, and doing it and making it real in the world, because we are the ones who took the thought and made it manifest in music. So, you know, that is what we really look for, you know, for the music to continue with the powerful message of redemption, justice, morality, and love, you know. That's what we want. Peace. These are the things we cry for in our music, and we wish that all music would be crying out for these things.
Right, exactly. And the respect y'all have earned. So we definitely give you that.
You've done.
Now, when it comes to listening to your music on a world stage, it is blatant what your message is. It is comes across clear as day: peace, love, redemption, retribution, justice, honor, freedom, all just great qualities all around. But you have actually experienced some hardships in your life, such as after your house fire and the loss of your archives. What did you learn about impermanence, resilience, and finding inspiration in ruins?
Well, what I learned, you know, is that life continue, you know, and the greatest thing is to have life, you know, because when you have no life, then you can do nothing, and you can influence nothing, and you can achieve nothing without life. So life is the most important thing, because if you have life, you can start from zero, because life began at zero and it developed to where we know it is now. So life are the most important thing, you know. So yes, I personally lost a lot of my historical data about my career, which went on to prove to me that, you know, these material things could not be what my life's effort was worth. My life's effort was worth.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
The amount of people that the message touched, and the amount of people who were influenced in a positive way and encouraged, you know, the amount of moments that it brought satisfaction or solace or joy to the listeners, you know. This is a real value, not the fact that I have the first recording and I have the original tapes and I have the first CD and I have the first 45 and I have all of these material things that I am hanging on to kind of justify myself and put a value to myself by these material things that I can go into a room and open a box or a cupboard and look at them, pick them up, feel them, touched them. You know, it taught me that even though those things feel so special and precious to you, they really are nothing, you know. They're just material things. So it's only the spiritual thing that really matter. Did your song touch someone in a positive way? Did it encourage them to make a change for the better? Did it cause them to reflect on their own self and what they have done and demand better from themselves and take it on to do what is necessary to manifest that change for the better, you know? That is a real victory if your songs and message can cause even one individual to do that. So these are the things that we really realize from losing a lot of material possessions, you know? Realize that that's not the thing. Because after the house burned down, it was all those people that we had touched with our music, with the love that we shared, with the good wishes we held for other people throughout the time. People we reached out and assisted. Those are the people who came back and assisted us. Those are the people who bring a 10 bag of cement for me, or bring a wheelbarrow and 4 shovel, or get me a discount at the hardware store to buy the metal sheeting for the roof, or get me a deal at the lumber company to get the groove and tongue for the flooring or the ceiling, you know, to get it at a rate, you know, a discounted rate to make it possible for us to go forward. And these are the things that music and what we believe in has really done for us in the real manner of thinking, you know. So that's really what I learned from that loss and that tragedy, you know, and that as long as life is spared, that is the greatest thing.
Yes, and I love how you said that it didn't matter that you had the 45 or the first cut of these records. You actually have left imprints on people's lives when they first hear your music. You know, there's people who was going through turmoil in their life. Somebody introduced them to a Mystic Revealer song, and it just had clarity for them. It made sense. Their life just came together, and it changed their whole outlook on life. That right there, that's soul saving right there. That's life saving. And like I just keep listening to your music and thinking about the beach. And we know that you're a surfer, and we know that Bruce Lee says that we all can learn from water. Well, you've built the Jamaican surfing scene and mentored your children in it. Like, what does the ocean teach you that still guides your music and your message?
Well, the ocean teaches humility, respect, you know, and it keeps me in awe of its power and beauty, you know. The fact that it can be so different. It can be calm and peaceful, or it can be rough and angry, you know. It can be teasingly enticing. It can be dark and mysterious, you know. It can be scary, you know. It's like a living entity. It's not just like a bottle of water on a shelf. It has a life to it, you know. And it makes you realize that when you're surfing, you're sitting in the water and you don't face the land when you're surfing. You face out to sea, waiting for a wave to come, waiting for an opportunity to come up from over the horizon, to come towards you, and you see it approaching, and you try to paddle to be in the best position to benefit from the wave that is coming. So you have to prepare yourself as it approaches you. And as it approaches you, you get into position and you try your best to make an effort, because it takes an effort to catch a wave. So you have to exert an effort in order to catch the wave. And if you put out enough effort, you will indeed catch the wave and be able to rise to your feet and ride on the power of the wave, not needing your power anymore, but harnessing the power of the wave to move forward and towards the shore and towards the ultimate destination, you know. So it's like life is like that too, you know. You're going out there to surf one day, and you're going to position yourself to have the wave, but it didn't start there. It started from the first day you were on a surfboard, and the first day you were able to rise to your feet. From the first day you were able to turn the surfboard left and right, and first day you were able to catch a wave on your own. You know, the fact that you get to the point where you are surfing now, you know, you open up your mind and your heart and your memory and your soul, and you realize that it's a long-term thing. But it's at this point in time, you're experiencing the highest form of it. You're experiencing the joy and the glory of it. And that's what makes you realize the journey before and the effort that you had put in over the time previously was definitely worth it to make this moment, this present now, worth the while, because you are reaping the benefit of the of the seeds you have sowed and the efforts that you have invested. Now you can catch the wave. Now you can stand. Now you can ride it all the way to shore and enjoy the spirit and the movement of the ocean. So that's what the water really teach me to. It strengthened my conviction, in life, and that we know there is a God and He's perfect and He's the creator of all things and He's the King of kings and Lord of lords. So all these things are just more things that prove to me that this world is not an accident, but something beautiful and magnificent and created by the hand of something much greater than ourselves.
Yes, that's a beautiful way to explain it, because the body of water itself is such a divine presence that we really don't grasp how emotional that it can make us. And like I say, just being out there and listening to the music and watching the water you listening to the music and listening to the water at the same time, it's like instruments that's just playing the perfect ballad, the perfect melody. And there's only one being that can actually create that kind of music like that. And we all emulate, or we try to be like that being in making our own music, which that being loves, which the Father loves in himself. You know what I'm saying? He loves to hear our music. And with that mindset, would you say that that mindset is what gives you the peace throughout anything that you do, whether it's going through a house fire or whether it's cutting a record and trying to secure the funding for the record, or any aspect of your life? Would you say that that kind of peace there is where it exudes from?
Well, the thing that keep me strong, is really knowing that Jah is with me and the world is His handiwork. And I open my heart and He fills it with emotion and encouragement. And He opens my eyes to what it is that is the coming of me. What is it that He expects of me? This is what really keep me going, cause sometimes I feel depressed. I have to realize that I'm not as great as I would love to be. I've fallen short in the eyes of the Most High, because He is so wonderful and magnificent, and I am but a grain of sand compared to Him. And I have many faults and many things. There's many difficulties. Sometimes you face tribulation, you face challenges that sometimes maybe they overcome your situation. You'll be the loser in the situation, And life is not about just having everything go the right way. Life is about managing with the situation when it doesn't go the right way.
Right.
To not be defeated. Because it's easy to be successful. Victory is easy. When you have victory, there's no problem. There's no heartache. There's no confusion. There's no sorrow. There's none of these negative aspects in victory. So if life is just going to be eternally victory, then you have nothing to worry about. What you have to worry about in the reality of life is not eternal and always a history of victory. Sometimes up, sometimes down. See, victory and defeat, happiness, sadness. So it is always the objective, and it's always incumbent on you.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
To try and find the solution as how to deal with the negative, with the sorrow, with the pain, with the disappointment. That is what the strength is needed for. The strength is not needed for the victory. Victory comes easy because victory is in the hands of the Most High God, and He will lead it in the way that He sees fit. So victory is not even in our hands. Victory is just because we are confident in the victory of good over evil. That's why we have confidence in the victory. But what about defeat? What about disappointment? So the real solution and the real answer to a positive and uplifting life is the life in which one can handle defeat, can put the disappointment in a container and neutralize it and learn from it to make the next battle a positive one, a victorious one. So that is one of the main things, learn to handle defeat, learn to manage your depression, learn to look on the brighter side of life. What next? Think what next? Where am I going? What is the end game? How will I know when I've achieved what it is that is here to achieve from this undertaking? These things will keep you on track and give you strength to go through, Rastafari.
Yes, blessed. That is definitely the best way to put that. We all get caught up in the day-to-day. We get caught up in what's on the news. We get caught up in what people are telling us. We get caught up in all these wars, all these turmoils, and we just keep forgetting that it's all got to be conquered one day. And good will always triumph in the end. And if you know this, it's like seeing that tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel. You know it's coming. So just keep pushing. Just keep on pushing. Now, I know that you launched your Jamaican authentic herb company. Is that also something that you promote to people to help them to keep pushing towards that light at the end of the tunnel?
Yes, well, we're still producing we're still producing the tincture and the cancer treatment and the dub rub. We're still producing that and we're making it available to people in need. We give out quite a large, I would say probably more than 60% of our production is given to people in need for the treatment of their cancers and so on. And we have had a lot of success. So this is kind of a quiet thing. This is just doing what the Lord wants us to do to help those less fortunate than ourselves, So we're still on it, but we can't lose anything, because the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, and they and them that dwell therein. So we know that we belong to the Lord, and everything that happens is only for a moment, because this now will continue forevermore until the Lord see it fit to bring us home, So we are give thanks still. We're not perplexed, we're not worried, We have full confidence in the victory. So, and we know who it is that we represent and who represent us, So we give thanks and praise, And what doesn't work today may work tomorrow. And what doesn't work tomorrow can work on the end of the year, or in the beginning of the following year, or in the next few minutes, or right now, So we have confidence that Jah will make it all happen when He sees fit, and we will be there for the glorification of it,
Facts. That I hear that. Now, do you see ganja culture like transforming not only like business but also consciousness and health in Jamaica and beyond?
Yes, we see the herb thing changing a lot. You have a lot of what I would say people, because at one time, ganja was that thing where in Jamaica them say if you smoke ganja it make you mad. So it wasn't always socially acceptable. Ganja wasn't always socially acceptable in Jamaica. The society and the status quo and the upper echelons of Jamaican society were very much against marijuana, even though they would use it for themselves. But because it was seen as a negative thing, as an illegal thing, and associated with the ghetto life of the Rastafarian people, it was outlawed, you know. So it wasn't really accepted. But what you see now, in this present day, now that the, the, the criminalization of people for use of marijuana is starting to wane, we find that a lot more of the established upper echelons of the economic society in Jamaica are now able to partake without any any negative reaction to the fact that they are doing it. Now it's okay for a young teenager or a young adolescent person to experiment and be using marijuana, even uptown in Jamaica. You know, it is more acceptable now. So a lot more people are using it. But what I've noticed is that the manner in which it is being used not as an aid for one's consciousness and to get a higher meditation and to get closer to the Almighty, but it's more seen as a recreational drug now, and one that is used for social interaction and that sort of thing. It's like a party drug that people use. Oh, you go everywhere, you go to the bar, you go to the club. Now everybody's breaking out a parcel of this wicked weed and the strongest weed and this very and this diesel and this crip and this gorilla and this donkey backbone and whatever they name it. You know, they have all of these new, and which one is the strongest one and which one can incapacitate you more and that type of thing. When marijuana wasn't that in the beginning. Marijuana smoking was to get closer to the Almighty, you know, was to seek a higher consciousness, you know. But now with the modernization and the availability, unfortunately, I've noticed that the real purpose and use of the marijuana has moved from spiritual to a recreational genre, you know, and I feel disappointed about that. But it is also more readily available for the people, because you still have people in the society who are seeking righteousness and looking for that meditation. So it's available for them also. But the most apparent result of the marijuana system now is that there's a lot more recreational use of the plant.
Right. And not only is more recreational use of the plant, but it's also strains of the plant that are being genetically modified that doesn't fare well when you're putting it in your system. You know, a lot of these people are actually getting addicted, terribly addicted to these chemicals they putting in the plant. And they're having mood swings and things of that nature when they can't get their hands on it. It's almost like it's a whole nother drug in itself now. Like, what kind of advice can you give to people when it comes to the ganja culture, to be able to utilize or get the full benefit of it instead of just letting it put them to sleep?
Well, you know, it's easy, you know, self-introspection, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Nobody knows where we have fallen short better than we ourselves. No one knows the disappointing behavior we practice more than ourselves. No one understands our shortcomings more than we do. No one knows the error of our ways like we know. It's just a matter of being honest to yourself, and being not afraid to accept the fact that sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you are to blame. Sometimes you are the guilty party. Sometimes you are the third party in the conversation. You are the one causing the obstructions and encouraging the negative energy because of your presence or because of your contribution to the situation. And sometimes you are doing that just because maybe you are not as compassionate enough as you should be to consider other people's feelings and other
Facts,
people's place
exactly. I mean,
in
if
the
we're going to call it a
situation
medication,
and
we
how
don't
your
just sit
actions
around just
make
take the
other people
medication
feel.
just because we want to take the
Sometimes you're not
medication because
aware
we
of
like the
these
way it makes
things.
us feel. No,
These
you
are the
take the
things where we must
medication
be
whenever you need it to actually
seeking.
go towards
And
the
when you find
ailment
those
and
things
soothe
inside
the
yourself and
ailment.
find
So
that
you're
I am not
definitely
perfect and I would like to be as close to perfect as possible.
exactly. And
And you
with the
go
world that
about
we live in, with
making
the
that your
climate
effort,
crisis,
making
cultural
that the thing that
erasure,
matters
digital
most to you.
disconnection, we need
Trying
as
to reach
much, we
those
need to be
goals
able to
of
harness
that
that
acceptance of
medication the
yourself, your
correct way
spiritual
so that we
self,
can be able
seeking
to get
righteousness and doing that which is
our
good
love and our
and
lives
fulfilling your
back.
position in
And
the
but what
the
what else
globe
do you
or
suggest
on the
that
flat
people
earth if
should
you're a
do
flat
in order
earther
to
or however you
start
might view it. I don't
reevaluating
really
their
know, but
values in order to
see it
get
as
them
long as you
back
know
in
we were
line with the
created
Most
by
High?
the Almighty and it is our duty to be pleasing in His sight. Then everybody's supposed to know what to do and where to go because you don't need somebody to tell you that you did something unkind. When you do something unkind, you are aware that you are in the actual act of committing an unkind action. You know that in yourself. If you don't know when you're being unkind, it must mean you must have some kind of mental condition or some illness, some psychological uh, situation or state that you're not responsible for your own thinking. But as
Right.
long as you're a normal human being, you know when you've hurt someone. You know when you've said something unkind. You know when you have said something to upset someone. You know when you're in a Jamaica, like we say, you step on them corn. You know when you do it. So you are the first judge of your actions. You are the first one who can set it straight. You are the one who knows when an apology is necessary or required. You know. You know when you should go to the person and say, "Bro, gee, sorry about the other day, and boy, me did upset and I know some said some things when you never deserve to hear out of my mouth. All of them was driven by jealousy or by hatred or by envy or by greed or what. If you can't look in at yourself and say me jealous, me envious, me greedy, me bad mind, if you can't find those things in yourself, then you're just fooling yourself, brother. You understand? You have to seek in the interior of your heart and identify where it is and rip it out and do as all you can to negate it and neutralize it. You see it? And that is how you're going to become a better person. That is the way you're going to become a better person. By wanting to be a better person. By identifying the negative in yourself. And by addressing that negative, grabbing it at the throat and tearing it out and discarding it and removing it from your way of thinking and your way of behaving. See. So these are the things where each and every one can do. And we try to profess these messages and things through our music as a mystic revealers. And as a songwriter and lead vocalist, Billy Mystic myself, I try my best to stay true to that, even in the midst of trial and tribulation and the acknowledgement that even myself, I am not perfect. And I have to give myself a little room and allowance for my imperfection and a little time for me to repent and bring my repentance to reality, in all the little things that we can identify that we have done. Rastafari.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Beautiful, beautiful. Exactly right there. That's the message that the world needs to actually be able to hear. It starts with the person in the mirror. You got to be able to take accountability. And in 2025, you got in the world that's shaken by war, injustice, and division. What does Jah Jah People mean to you now?
It means what it has always meant. Jah Jah People is just an ongoing. It started with the young revolutionaries until it became Jah Works. Then it became Space and Time. Then it became This One's for Jah. And now we are in Jah Jah People time, you know. And the message has always been the same. It has always been an encouragement. We only see at this time, at this point in time, how close we are to the fulfillment of the revelation of His Imperial Majesty's works, the revelation of the reality of Christ, of the Christ who shed His blood for us, the revelation of the work of the rising of the beast in this time, the revelation of the works of the almighty martyrs coming together and standing up and speaking out for righteousness, you know. And we will see all of the things that revelation and the Bible has told us is going to happen. And the Quran has told us that it's going to happen because we are all one people. There's only one God, and He's the God of us all, you know. And His word shall never fade and never diminish. So it is just whether or not we will have the glory and the joy to live to see the fulfillment and the manifestation of the revelation. But here we are in 2025 realizing that it's so much closer. There is so much things that we read in the Bible that are now manifest in reality of life and society amongst us. That when we read them back in the 70s and the 60s as young youths reading our Bible, it sounded like, yes, we believe these things will happen. But it looks so far off in the future that we believe we would never have lived to see these things. And here we are in this era, realizing all of these revelations coming to pass. So we see Jah Jah People album as the album with a message for the people to encourage them to be the best that they can be for the glorification of the Most High, you know. So we try to put something for each and every one in that album, and we hope that people will listen to it carefully, consider the message in the words, and see how best it can influence their life to a more positive and uplifting experience.
Yes, sir. Now, a lot of people, we agree with you on the signs are very blatant. we are definitely in the end times. And a lot of people are contributing the changing of the leadership at the Vatican, with the Pope changing from Pope Francis to Pope Leo as one of the signs that we are close. Would you say that's a sign that would you say that's something you believe in right there, that is a sign towards the end?
Yes, man. Everything that is happening, because we know that the word of the Lord is real. We know that anything we see happening now, we just have to look and say, where was it mentioned? Because anything that happened now is going to be a sign and going to be proof of the manifestation of revelation happening. Because we are in these times. So everything that nothing will be happening just by chance. The Pope dead in this time is not by chance. A new Pope elected, him come up, is not by chance. The name of the Pope who is elected is the same, is the carry on from the one who blessed Mussolini to go into Ethiopia. He was the last Leo Pope, the 13th and now the 14th. So there's a lot of everything. We have to take note of everything that is happening. And nothing is happening that shouldn't have happened. Anything that happened is what was determined to happen. So we know that what is happening is current and real and necessary, you know?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's a lot happening. And it's a lot happening so fast. The youth, they are not even given a chance to learn about this before it happens. Like, what is something that a message that you can give to the youth before we actually break off, that you can help them?
All we can tell the youth is to live righteously, you know. All we can tell the youth is to do good, you know. Live righteously, you know. Be compassionate. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Be considerate of those less fortunate than yourself. Do a good deed today. You know, these are the things we can't tell. We can't tell them nothing else. We can't tell them nothing else than seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all things will be added unto you. We can't tell them no more than act righteously with conviction of spirit for the glorification of the Almighty Creator of heaven and earth. You know, these are the things we can tell them. We can't tell them anything more. It's up to them. It's incumbent on them to do the right thing, to think the right thought, to take the right action, to put the right foot forward, to choose the right path. Ask the questions within yourself. What do you want? Do you want to be one of his chosen? If so, then seek out the ways and the path that is going to lead to that reality of being chosen, that reality of being with him, the reality of sharing in the glory and receiving the precious victory reward. You know, these are the things, because we know not what tomorrow brings. So let us do what we can so that if the instant come upon us suddenly, we will still be found worthy and glorious to receive his blessing and his forgiveness and his salvation. That is what we have to do. You know what I mean? And it have to be like a knee-jerk thing. You have to get it to be like, just like wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, wash my face, get something to eat. You know what I mean? You have to say, do righteous, wake up in the morning, say a prayer, give thanks to Jah for life, ask him to guide me and care for me and my loved ones, and keep me out of the hands of those who wish evil upon me. Guide and protect me, guide and protect those who I love. You know what I mean? Go out into the world, look for whenever the opportunity presents itself to you to do good, seize it with both hands and do as good as you can. You know, this is what we have to tell you. They have to want it in themselves. I'm not going to be able to give it to them.
That's the truth in its whole essence right there. You definitely got to get it yourself. Even the Bible has said that no man will be held accountable for what another man does. So you only will be judged on your works. We have to get our works in. We have to start pushing forward to a better tomorrow. If we want to make it to the new heaven and the new earth, we have to build for that new heaven and that new earth now. We cannot take our old ways into the new future. So definitely great words. Great uplifting motivation. The youth definitely needs to hear that. And I'm so happy that you decided to put it here on our Reggae Hour platform so we can get it out there to them, because that's exactly what we do. Like one of my favorite artists said, why am I wasting time with these adults when it's all these children out here that needs this knowledge? I want to thank you once more for carrying that message in every way imaginable to our hearts. The Billy Mystic of the Mystic Revealers you have done wonders for us. So I just want to say thank you. And is there anybody that you want to give thanks to, or you want to give us any recognition to before we leave?
Yeah, man, we want to say big up to management. You know, we want to say big up to the Most High God who consider us and keep us from that time until this time and continue to inspire us to do his works. You know, we want to give thanks to the I and the I platform and all of the listeners who found it worthwhile to be tuning and listening to the humble words that we are putting forward, and we hope that it lead them in the path of righteousness. You know what I mean? I want to big up the members of the band. I want to big up Lion Revealer, Nicky Rimshot, Ozuni, Ian, and Rajid, members of the band. Big up DJ Soldier who also perform with us, you know. Give thanks and praise.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Yeah, man, and thanks to the world out there who still seek righteousness and the best of the music and what it has to offer, you know. Rastafari, live.
Blessings, Rastafari. And there you have it. Reggae enthusiasts and culture lovers, a profound journey into the heart of roots reggae with none other than Billy Mystic. We've explored the incredible legacy of Mystic Revealers, a band that has stayed true to the spirit of reggae, spreading messages of unity, justice, and love across the globe. Billy Mystic's insights into not only the music but also the movement behind reggae have been inspiring and enlightening. His passion and dedication continue to pave the way for both seasoned and budding reggae artists alike. As we wrap up this heartfelt conversation, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to Billy for sharing his wisdom and stories with us. It is artists like Billy who reminds us of reggae's unyielding power as a force for cultural revolution and connection. We hope you've been inspired by today's interview and gained a deeper appreciation for the transformative power of reggae music. Don't forget to follow Mystic Revealer's journey and stay tuned to Reggae Hour for more insightful interviews with the voices shaping the past, present, and future of reggae. Thank you for tuning in, and remember to keep the vibes positive, the message is strong, and the music playing. Until next time, one love. Billy Mystic, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure.
A pleasure is all mine. Yes, I give thanks. Bless that.
Footprints of who's been here before, not just another mortal. Oh no, there's something more, a spirit that lives on through every age and time, but like a thought, although eternal, still occupy your mind in space and time. space and time. In space and time. 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 So many men are falling, and many men will rise, and many got a dream. I see it shining in their eyes, but dreams are nothing new. We all have dreamed before, but who can take that dream and make it something more in their time? In their time, in their time. Well, in their time, in their time. In their time, in their time. In their time. Well, your life is there before you. Time is moving on. In just a little while, it's gonna seem your life is gone. So take your chance and make it into something that will grow. Don't you let the evening find you with nothing there to show for your time. For your time, 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 for your time. So we sing, oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 space and time, space and time.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.